limit of n minus n squared minus n when n goes to infinity. This is obviously equal to infinity minus infinity, which is an indeterminate form, and therefore we have to use some kind of algebra or other techniques to try to determine this limit. So in this case, this problem we have seen it many times. We need to get rid of the square roots. Of course, if we do the mistake claiming that this is square root of n squared minus square root of n, then the problem becomes a very simple problem, except that this is not true. Therefore, we need to do something else to get rid of the square root is to try to multiply, to raise it to the square. So we multiply by the conjugate, top and bottom, over n plus square root of n squared minus n. And this will give us n squared minus square root squared, that's n squared minus n. Pay attention how I put the parentheses here. Okay, many of you forgot to put the parentheses. It became minus n squared minus n, and it's not minus n squared minus n. It's minus parentheses n squared minus n, and in this case, it becomes n squared minus n squared plus n over n plus n squared minus n. And then if you cancel the n squared, then you get n minus square root n squared minus n equal n over n plus n squared minus n. Now, let's factor out the n from top and bottom. So here we get n over n times 1 plus, and then we have to factor out 1n out, and this will become n over n squared. Let me do it slowly so you can see what I'm doing. Let me go back here and redo that step, okay? So it's n over n plus square root, and now I'm going to factor out n squared. 1 minus n over n squared, and this is n over n, square root of n squared, that's n, square root, 1 minus n over n squared, 1 over n. So now I can factor out n over n times 1 plus minus and then I can cancel now the n from top and the bottom to get 1 over 1 plus square root of 1 over 1 minus 1 over n. So this here, when n goes to infinity, it goes to 1 over infinity, which is 0. So we have 1, the top goes to 1, and the bottom goes to 1 plus square root of 1, which is 2. So it's going to be 1 over, so the limit is 1 over 1 plus 1, which is 2.